Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is going to be another tropical update. It's going to mainly focus on the Atlantic, but I will go a little bit into the Eastern Pacific as well. Anyway, let's get started. So you see we have the National Hurricane Center pulled up here, and we do have Invest 90L now it is, which we'll go to in a second, but it's now a 30% chance formation in the next 5 days and a 10% chance in the next 48 hours. Marginally convective for gradual development. So it went from gradual development to slow development to now gradual development again possible. Now let's go into the Eastern Pacific, where we have a 40% chance of formation. It could become a tropical depression soon, but the conditions are going to be less favorable towards the latter half of the week. And there is nothing in the Central Pacific. So anyway, we have 90L pulled up. We see that nothing too impressive. It's definitely not organized. But if we go to the model intensity guidance, we see a lot do show a tropical storm. A lot show tropical depression as well. And by that I mean like winds, sustained winds. But yeah, so these are the sustained winds, wind speed and knots, and a lot of them show getting up to tropical storm force winds. So that's good. That's more than I expected. I saw most of them wouldn't show anything. Most tracks show it taking it west-northwest, and if this were to happen, I do not think it would affect any land. If we go into the Eastern Pacific invest that 40% area, definitely more impressive, and model intensity guidance, most say tropical depression if it forms. One shows a tropical storm. And yeah, just going out to sea, of course, as most do in the Eastern Pacific. Moving on, let's go more into the long range. So we see the 1012 millibar system here. If we go a little forward, the GFS still kills it after a bit. And then we have the other wave I was talking about, coming off Africa, quickly forming in 999, and it quickly moves across the Atlantic. And I'm not going to focus on this at all because this is probably not going to happen. It's the first round of showing it. I only want to show you guys the consistent stuff. Anyway, so yeah, quickly strengthens and goes up north. I said it was going to hit land most likely if it happened. Now it's about a 50-50 chance. Like I said, we're not too confident on where it's going to go, but now it seems it's a little more likely of going at the sea. So I would say 50-50 chance right now. But yeah, either way, like I said, I'm still going to track it. It still has a potential to be a very strong storm. So yeah, 955 millibars. If we go into the 10-meter AK sustained winds, let's go a bit into. We do see the system getting tropical storm force winds, and then as it goes north, we gradually get hurricane force winds around 989 millibars, and major hurricane winds around I would say, 318, 324. Like I always say, take this with a grain of salt. It is very uncertain. The ECMWF also kills the area of interest, and then if we go a little into the future, we do see the next tropical wave coming here. So the big system that could come after, I'm not too certain if it's a second or third tropical wave. It seems more of the third tropical wave I was not aware of. Either way, it's still the same system. But anyway, 10M winds. Not really tropical storm force winds, but a 50 MB wind gusts, definitely tropical storm force wind gusts. Canadian model doesn't really show anything at all. Now, enough with that. If we go into the models, we're going to go to the ensembles now. Spaghettios. So we do see if we go a little forward, this isn't fully loaded. It's about 24 hours from being fully loaded. That's close enough, I believe. Anyway, so the ensembles have been showing something forming in the Caribbean. As you can see, a lot of them show something and hitting land. Of course, that would be horrible. So we see something hitting the Panhandle there. Some things going into the Gulf. That And that's not even the remnants of, like, the AOI that's expected to go near that way. Because that's probably going to go much more north and stay more east. So this is a completely new system that the models have been pretty consistent of. And then we see the other system being shown going out to sea. And I think it's been pretty consistent, so if we go a little bit forward, we do see something being shown. It's definitely stronger this run. I wouldn't be too worried about it. And then we see, of course, these systems. And by these systems, I mean, like, that second or third tropical wave that could be very strong, but most ensembles are actually killing the AOI like the main models. And if we go, and by the way, 18Z only goes out 144 hours. It's not even done loading, so of course I'm not going to show you that. But 12Z, a lot of them show it going out to sea. One takes it into the Gulf, hits the Florida Panhandle, very strong. But most show it going out to sea. If we go back into the GEFS, I want to show you the consensus with 850 MB winds. I did not select a region. For some reason, it wasn't already selected. But we're going to go to 850 MB winds, which is, well, wind control, which is, it shows you a good idea of how strong it could be, but 850 MB is pretty much wind gusts, but that's what I use it for. And I use 10M for sustained. So this is basically going to show us the potential wind gusts and gives you a good idea of where the center would go. So the consensus of the ensembles. It's like an average of them. So we do see the consensus of the ensembles shows something big potentially forming in the Gulf, as well as that second wave and something behind it too. The EPS, which hopefully will load quickly. Sorry about that, guys. But anyway, moving on. If we go, we do see they aren't really showing a Gulf system, but they do show two systems kind of colliding and something behind it going out to sea. Of course, they sank that. Now, I'm going to go to the GEFS Ensembles, but now we're going to go to the Eastern Pacific, Spaghettios. Nothing really. Though the ensembles are showing something for the later in the run. It seems the EPS has nothing on it in one of the newer runs, so we're gonna have to go to the older runs. 0Z. Sorry about that. But let's just go along with it. We don't really see anything, until keep going. And I'm not going to show the 850 MB here because I don't believe it's consistent enough to be shown there. Let's go back to tropical tidbits. Eastern Pacific. Let's look at the main GFS model. If we keep going, we do see it does show something forming going out to sea. ECMWF. Not really anything, but again, doesn't go as far. CMC does show a small system. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.